Good morning, students. Today we are going for the new topic Medieval India, the Mughal Empire, Chapter 9 in History. You know that Babur invention of India in 1526 and India was rule breakaway kingdoms of the Delhi Sultanate and there was no powerful central authority in India and one of the Bengal, Jaunpur, Gujarat, Malwa and Mewar had all become independent and they are in the hand of the Mughal Empire. These states were always fighting against one another, and the result is that all the states, one by one, in the hand of the Mughal Empire. Now, here are some of the sources which are proving now that it is the time period of the Mughal Empire. One of them it is Ain Akbari and it is written by the Abul Fazl, the minister of the nine jewels at Akbar court, and he's written about the history writing about the Akbar, and this is the regarded as a precious source of material for knowing the administration and culture during the ruling of the Akbar. Ain Akbari is divided into 5 books, and the first book deals with the imperial households, and the second book deals with the servants of the emperor and the military and the civil services, and the third book deals with the imperial administration and it consists of regulation and judicial and executive department, and fourth book it is also deal with the Hindu philosophy, and fifth book it deal with the what was the Akbar saying, it means wiseness of the Akbar. Now you know that the one of the important source that is the Taj Mahal, and Taj Mahal is the wonderful and important time period of the Mughal Empire. It was the beautiful monuments. It was built Shah Jahan in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Taj Mahal was constructed very important marbles and the costly marbles. Taj Mahal is lies on the Agra on the bank of the river Yamuna. It was designed by Ustad Insha Khan and it is made up of pure white marbles which are very precious. The main structure constructed of high platform, one each of 4 corners of platform there is minaret and central dome rises to a height of 56.1 meter. It is look like a lotus. You have to be seen. This is the central dome and which is very beautiful and look like a lotus. The marbles domes here in the central looks like an inverted lotus. The actual graves are in the lower chamber underground, and entire structure of Taj Mahal is made of marbles walls decorated with floral designs. Now, Taj Mahal, one of the designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 and was declared as one of the 7 wonders of the world in 2007. Second is the Jama Masjid. It is the important construction. It is built by the Shah Jahan it is the biggest mosque in India, and it has the most of the capacity, about 2000 people sit inside the Jama Masjid. This is the important, and another one is the Red Fort of Delhi. It was built by the Shah Jahan after he decided to shift his capital to Delhi. It is located bank of the Yamuna. Red sandstones and marbles were used in the construction of the Red Fort, and the fort has massive walls, 2 gateways, and the western gate is known as the Lahori Gate. And you know that one of the important thing is that this gate was used for the emperor and ceremonial purpose. Among the many impressive buildings in the complex like Diwani Am and Diwani Khas. Diwani Am is importance, and there is the ornamented hall where the peacock throne was placed. Moti Masjid is in the Red Fort. It is most of pure marbles. The Red Fort is an important historical monument and many historical events connected with this fort. And the Prime Minister of India every year the national flag from its ramparts on Independence Day 15th August. Mughal dynasty, it is in the hand of the Babur whose full name was the Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, was the descendant of Timur and the Mongol ruler. At Kabul he carved out a small principality for himself. Akbar, he was the great of the Mughal ruler of India. He was only 13 years old when he became the king or Nawab. Now he ascended the throne and was guided by his tutor Bairam Khan. Akbar succeeded to difficult position and had to virtually reconquer his empire. In the second battle of the Panipat, the Mughal forces led to the Bairam Khan defeat Hemu, and after having established himself in Delhi and Agra, Akbar captured Malwa, Gondwana, Bengal, Gujarat, Kashmir and the Kabul. He ventured beyond the Vindhyas in the Deccan and after stiff resistance, he defeated many local rulers. Finally, Ahmednagar, Berar, Khandesh and were annexed to the Mughal Empire. One of the important wars done by the Akbar, it is famous battle of the Haldi Ghati was fought in 1576. Akbar died in 1605. What are the policies of the Akbar towards the Rajput? Basically, Rajput policy of Akbar proved to be of his greatest achievement because he think that Rajputs are brave, that he has to be joined the Rajput in his army. A step towards the integration. Now Akbar was a very important person. That's why Akbar reduced he was abolished the poll taxes or the zia, which was taken from the non-Muslim candidates and the pilgrims taxes. Akbar's social and educational reform. One of the important work of the Akbar that he was the person he issues order to be Kotwal to check the forcible of the Sati Pratha, and he was against the Sati burning of a widow on the funeral pyre of her husband. Akbar legalized widow remarriage. Akbar was against anyone having more than one wife unless the first wife could not bear children. Akbar raised the age of marriage 14 for girls and 16 for boys. Akbar revised educational syllabus, laying more emphasis on moral education. Here, after that, Aurangzeb. Now, Aurangzeb, when he ascended the throne after a long fierce struggle with his father and three brothers, his long reign of 50 years was devoted to wars in different parts of the country. At the height of rules extend over almost the entire subcontinent from the Kashmir in the north and river of the Kaveri in the south, from the Kabul in the west to the Chittagong in the east. Now he reversed the Akbar policy of the religious. He spent the last days of his reign attempting to suppress rebellions. Administrative system of the Mughals. Basically, the Mughals empire established a centralized state based on the military power. Now, you know that the Aurangzeb was the monarch now. So there are number of references in the court chronicles of the Mughal which show the policy of the Aurangzeb. He was against to the Hindus. Now that the power of the Mughal king named directly from the god. According to Abul Fazl, the office of true rule was responsible one which depended on divine illumination and the Mughals emperor endowed with the divine light was regarded as a wise regent of the God on earth. Now here ministers are there, and according to the importance of the ministers, so like here in the days of the Babar and the Humayus, they are used to be the prime minister known as the Wakil, who has entrusted with the large power of civil military affairs. Judiciary, it means that judicial department was headed by the Qazi. Provincial government, now here Akbar paid great attention to organization of the provincial government, and empire was divided 12 provinces or the suburbs, which was further subdivided into sarkars. Each sarkars are the parganas or the mahals. Mansabdari system. The Mansabdari system introduced by Akbar was a unique feature of the administrative system of the Mughal Empire. Under this system, he was assigned a rank Mansab, and the term Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds Mansab, meaning a position or rank. Here, the Mansabdar who formed the ruling group in the Mughal Empire. These ranks were divided into namely Zat and the Savar. Zat fixed the personal status of a person and the salary due to him. Land revenue system, a uniform system of the measurement was established for calculating land taxes, which is known as Todar Mal, drew up a scheme from the effective taxes collection.